Hi everybody, welcome to another Shopmystashmas. This is my version of Vlogmas for the month of December, where I go through all my products and try to use whatever I already have in my collection, and it has been so fun. Some are products that have been existing in my collection for a while, but I neglect them. Some of them are products that I picked up this year, but because I try so much makeup, I forget to use them because I keep on trying new stuff. So I have a nice little pile of products in front of me. I did not feel myself selecting these products. Is that something that you guys want to see? The only reason I didn't do it is not because I'm disorganized, but the way that I have everything set up, because my collection grew so exponentially over the past year, it's kind of piecemeal all over the place. So it's not something that I can easily film. I can do it if it's something you desperately want to see, or what I can do is do a dedicated video going through my entire collection, maybe doing a declutter, maybe not doing a declutter, I'm not sure. But either way, I can do a dedicated video taking you through the entire collection. It'll depend on what the majority of you would like to see as well. So open to the feedback. Let me know what you guys would like to see. Let's just get into today's look. Before I begin anything, I'm going to add the Summer Fridays Butter Balm, Lip Butter Balm in vanilla, just to juicing up the lips a little bit. The other day, my daughter had a friend over. She had come straight from the mall and she picked up the hot cocoa, or is it whatever it's called, the cocoa scent? Hot chocolate? I'm not sure. I gave it a whiff and it smelled divine. So I might need to pick one of those up. Let's start with primer. I picked the DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin. One moment, please. DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum Mattifying and Firming Face Serum. You're not supposed to shake this. You are just to press on this squishy bottom part and dispense the product. And I remember really loving this, and I don't know why I haven't used it in so long. Like water, very, very light. It's supposed to absorb oils. It's supposed to be for oily skin, but I don't have oily skin. I have an oily, sometimes T-zone, but even with my normal, sometimes dry, sometimes oily skin, I really remember enjoying this a lot. It's mattifying, it's light. You can combine it with other primers. It's so light that combining it with something else is very, very easily done. There's no stick to it. You don't feel like you have anything on your face. It's very, very, very weightless. And it does kind of feel powdery, but not heavily powdery, right? So it was water, but now my skin feels very, very smooth, very smooth. Okay, so now I'm remembering why I loved the dry down of it and the finish of it and how it felt on the skin. And I remember thinking this isn't necessarily for only oily skin types at all. Okay, let's move on to foundation, the Fenty Soft Lit. So I haven't used this it's been a really, really, really long time. So I had a hard time with this when I first tried it and I did my review of it. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous foundation. It's natural, but with a little bit of extra something. And I use shade 225. It's quite a thick foundation, but not like the thickest foundation ever. As you can see, it's starting to kind of slide down. So that's the viscosity of it. It looks fantastic. Amazing, amazing when you first put this on. What I had a issue with was the longevity of this, because the first time I used it, it was breaking up all around my nose. I'd never experienced anything like that before, and I wasn't impressed. Actually, I was sad. I'm going to apply it with a sponge today because I've kind of gotten back into using a sponge and I just love the effect. It's a pain in the butt, but in the butt. Okay, don't quit your day job. It looks phenomenal, phenomenal when you first apply it, but then I was experiencing, longevity issues, breaking up issues around my nose. And I don't know if it was that particular day. I believe it was like primer or no primer. Okay, the end result, and the end conclusion for this foundation was that I love it. I do, but I have to definitely prime, and I have to powder maybe a little bit more than I enjoy powdering normally in order for it to last. Otherwise, no complaints, but the fact that I have to, treat this in a very specific way kind of makes me not reach for it, because I never know from, one day I'm like, "Oh, I'm in a hurry," or which usually is the case, I'm in a hurry, or whatever the case may be. It's not finicky, but it just needs some finesse, at least on my skin. And that's why I think I haven't been reaching for it. But oh, we got really bright. I just realized that. Hang on one sec. I'm so sorry. I think that's better. I didn't realize that. I should bring my monitor a little bit closer to me. As beautiful as it is, the fact that I just need a little bit more, the fact that I have to finesse it and make sure that I get the prepping prior to and the powdering afterwards just right, it's kind of on the back burner. It kind of makes me want to reach for it less. So that's why I thought, why don't you bring it out today and play with it again and see what you think. So I get really beautiful natural coverage, and your skin just looks great. My skin looks great right now. It's beautiful. It is. Well, I'll add a note. I'll add a note about the longevity of this, because by the time I can edit this, I have a lot going on, which is why I haven't done more of these already. And I'll add a note down below about the longevity of this. For color corrector, another product I haven't reached for in a little while is the Huda Beauty color corrector in Pomelo Pink, or Pink Pomelo. Get a little of that on the back of my hand, and this is the peachiness or the pinkiness that it has to it. I find it slightly a little on the pink side for me, and I know pink's supposed to be brightening and really great for darkness. However, pink looks a little bit weird on me. I need more peach than pink, although this isn't too pink. I'm gonna grab a fluffy brush, a Refer number 33, and apply this sparingly to color correct my under eyes. This is also something else I've been trying to do, just using a fluffy eyeshadow brush to apply my concealers and my color correctors, and I've really been loving it. You can see I have color corrector on, which there's nothing wrong with that, because we're going to go in and cover it up. However, it's a little bit too pink for me, but I do love this color corrector because at the end of it all, it does a really good job. But when I first apply it, it's like, ugh, it's a little bit too pink. And I have to be careful not to get it too low so that that pink and that peach doesn't just kind of show up beyond where I might put a concealer. And by applying to the back of my hand and not going directly to my under eye, I can be very, very precise in how much gets deposited under my eyes, because I don't like to build up too much, because the wrinkles, they don't like that, okay? They don't like it at all. It's like you're suffocating them. And they're like, what? Screaming, let me out, let me out. I want to color correct my eyelids as well. So foggy and gloomy and cloudy outside. That means it's gloomy and cloudy inside, as we know. But makeup will do the trick, I think, in brightening up the mood. So this is not a color corrector that I could use on a daily as a corrector slash concealer. This is a corrector that looks very, very pink around my eyes. Definitely could not go out like this versus what I used in my first Shopmystashmas, which was the Charlotte Tilbury, which is much more peach and much closer to my skin tone, and also the Dermatology. So if I had to rank of those, I'd say Dermatology, Charlotte Tilbury, and then this one. Because yes, it is canceling out the darkness, but then I'm left with the ring of pink around my eyes. And so nothing wrong with that. I'm going to go over it, but it's not a multi-use type of corrector. It's a very specific type of corrector. We're going to give the Westman Atelier concealer another shot here. I have L4 and M2. They're still in their boxes. Why? Why are they? Was it because I was thinking about returning them and then too much time had passed and I couldn't any longer? Or was it to remind me that these are ones that I'm not necessarily that crazy about? I don't know. We'll see. It was a mixed bag with these ones. I tried them, didn't like them. Shades were a little off. They looked really heavy. Then I tried applying very, very little product. Then I had to lightly powder to make it look nice. So again, another very finicky product. Why did I group all the finicky products in this one? Actually, it's a good exercise because I'm compiling my best of 2024 list, and it's really good that I'm going through products like this where I'm kind of on the fence on. And so using them again and refreshing my memory and giving them another go will really solidify my thoughts for what makes the cut for the best of 2024. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to swatch L4 and M2 for you really quickly so you can see the difference. This is L4 and this is M2. I can combine them to create my own shade. Let's do that real quick. I think that really works if I combine those, or I can use M2 to sort of match my skin tone and then L4 to brighten where I need to. But I think today I am just going to mix the two and we will get them on the eyes and see what kind of experience we have today. The packaging is absolutely gorgeous. And although I appreciate packaging just as much as the next person, if it doesn't look good under the eyes, then it doesn't look good under the eyes, right? This is quite pigmented and therefore I'm going to apply sparingly. And what I'm going to do is the same thing that I did with the color corrector. I'm going to apply to the back of my hand and then take my brush and apply sparingly to the eyes because I did find that it did look a little bit heavy. So I'm going to try it this way. So just a little bit of both. I'll mix them together and then we'll see what happens. I know, I don't know, a lot of people, there are people who love this, and those people don't have a lot of fine lines or advanced age under their eyes, right? So that could be a thing. Sephora concealer brush in number 71. So that absorbed right into my hand and I can't pick anything up, which is interesting. Interesting. Let me try applying a little bit more. Back we go. Add this to the under eye and I'm going to add it to my lid as well. Always make sure to get my inner corner here, and I'm getting some nice brightening on my lid. Looks great. On my lid looks great, but I'm seeing a lot of emphasis of my lines underneath my eyes. I mean, I can't do anything about those, but I'm not loving it. I'm not loving this. On my lid, I am. On my lid, where I don't have that many lines, it looks really, really nice. Very thick concealer, meant for those without a ton of fine lines under their eyes. For me, the emphasis is right here, right in the corner. It doesn't look horrendous. It looks all right. It's not terrible. I was like holding my breath putting that on. That's not a good sign. I'm going to try and sort of smooth this out a little bit more with my sponge. Take off any maybe excess, even though I was picking it up from the back of my hand. I didn't even go in directly under my eye and still, ugh, look at this. Okay, officially do not like this concealer. We have determined that. We have determined that now. No, I don't care. I don't care. Sometimes when I am seeing people and they're like, oh, this is like the best and I love this and I can't stop using it. Like I said, their under eyes look like a baby's butt. Okay? However, speaking of butts, but on my eyelid, I think that is what I'm going to use these up for. just to prep my eyelids. Unless they really muck up what I am planning on applying to them, that's what I'm going to be using these for until they're done, because they are a pretty penny and I don't want them just sitting there. So if I can find a use for them, I'll tell you this much, they are not going on my under eyes again. No. No. Mm-mm. Try tapping in. Why am I trying so hard over here? No, I don't like it. For bronzing, I pulled out my beloved Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer in the shade Light Medium. I love the Skin Enhancer bronzer. I'm almost at pan, but I haven't used it in a little while. So I'm going to grab my Mario F4 brush, the thicker side or the larger side of this dual-ended brush, go right into this amazing bronzer that is so natural, so beautiful. This one, oh, there's the pan. There's the pan. Hi. Hit pan on camera. I mean, that's good, right? I love this because it's not sticky. So it's not a liquid, it's a cream, but it's not sticky on your face. There's a little bit of a dew, but it's not like sticky where your hair will stick to it, you know? And it leaves this beautiful, beautiful bronziness behind. It's natural. This shade Light Medium is just perfection for my skin tone. I love this. And I remember why. Well, it hasn't been that long. Well, actually, it has been quite some time since I've actually used this. Sculpted and bronzed at the same time. Okay. Gorgeous. Beautiful sheen. And I love this so much. Oh, gonna get the forehead as well. Such an amazing product. So I place this, I always say, so Mario has a stick bronzer, contour bronzer, depending on the shade you pick. And then there's this, the skin enhancer. Then there's his liquid. And this one is right in the middle. The Skin Sculpt, the liquid one with the pump and the doe foot that he recently released, that is very sheer, very, very, very light, liquidy, and multi-use. This one is right in between that stick. So the stick is a lot thicker, a lot more pigmented. And so this one's right in between that liquid and that stick. And I love all three of those products, by the way. And they all have their place, you know? They're not redundant products. They're all very, very different, but all very, very beautiful. I have a zit right at the tip of my nose. I had one here. I played around with it this morning. That's why it looks so red. Now I have this one. These are stress pimples, people. Stress pimples. You know, when life just keeps smacking you across the face and you're like, enough, please. And life's like, no, I think you could take one more. Yep. I like taking this, and it's so easy to spread out just a little bit on the jowl here because that's decided to become a little bit more prominent recently. But just very, very lightly under there. I don't want any harsh lines or anything like that. Just a little definition under there. I'm also going to take just a little bit over my nose here. For blush, I figured I'd pull out the Mario Cream Blush, which is kind of like the same formula as the Skin Enhancer. They work so, so beautifully together. And one of my favorite shades in this line is called Barely Blushing. Right up my alley in terms of shade. It's so beautiful. It's kind of pink, it's kind of peach, it's very neutral. I'm going to take the other side of the same Mario brush, the smaller side, just dip right in there. I always tap off before I go in, but I know that this is so light, so natural, so beautiful. Same dewy, juicy finish, but not sticky. This you can use for daytime because it's not really in your face, but also really works for a dramatic eye when you don't want your blush and your cheeks competing for your eyes. And so it works for both. This is one of the best blushes I own. Take it over my nose. youthful, so natural, so it's glowy, but not glowy. It's just a sheen, just like the enhancer. You do feel a tack to it, so it doesn't dry down to a powder or anything like that, but it's not like a sticky, gooey mess. And for someone who does not like anything sticky on their face, this is something I can definitely handle. So that's how you know how sticky it is. Okay, let's powder a little bit right now. And for that, I picked the RMS Hydra powder in the shade medium. I did really like this powder. It does come with a puff, and then you lift it up, and then you have your powder underneath, which I always appreciate the containment of the powder because it makes for a much neater application, or just, you know, when there isn't that protectiveness to the powder, it can get a little bit messy. I feel like a broken record on that, but anyway, I do appreciate that. Tap a little bit into the cap. Under the eyes, I want to do a light dusting because of this concealer. It's supposed to be self-setting, I think. I'll have to double check that, but I do want to lock it in, but because it feels so heavy under my eyes, I do not want any further dryness under there. Make sure I don't have any creasing on the lids, which I do, which is normal. So for the foundation, I think I'm going to go in with the puff just in my T-zone area. I don't think I've used the puff from the RMS. And I'm just going to, especially around my nose area, just make sure I've powdered. I don't want to disturb what I have here with the Mario. I don't need to set that. Just want to concentrate right here and on my chin and on my forehead, or the middle of, in between my brows here on my forehead. Nice powder. I like this powder. Feels so smooth and is doing a nice job. I hate this under eye. I hate it. This powder is actually feeling very nice, not drying at all, not sucking up any moisture. It's just setting beautifully. And yes, I do really like this powder. If I tell you how much I dislike the way my under eyes look right now, would you believe me? Would you believe me? God, could I not be like this when I was like 25 and my skin was like that? That's what I look like. Oh, look at all the powder on me. Uh-oh. All right, let's tackle the eyes. I'm going to take the House Labs in Light Level 2, this powder bronzer. It's creamy, but dries down to a powder. I love this bronzer. I don't know if I'm going to add any more to my cheeks, but I know I do want to add this to my crease. So I'm taking a Refer 01 and just applying it to the crease. This is a beautiful bronzer. Beautiful bronzer. And don't use it enough. And I love the shade Light Level 2 on me. It's absolutely perfect. Not too light, not too dark, and perfect to use in the crease. It's very neutral. So great because it has that creaminess to a powder to use as a crease shade. I have this shadow here from Victoria Beckham. The reason I thought of this, I've had it for a while. This is in the shade Mink. I'm going to swatch it real quick for you. The reason I thought of this is because she just came out with a new shade she just came out with a new shade, an emerald shade, and it reminded me that I have a couple of these and I haven't used them in a really long time. This is the shade Mink. Oh, it's beautiful. I want to swatch it for you just to show you that it does have a really good base to it with a gorgeous, dazzling sparkle. And so you can use this as a one and done. You can use it as a topper. You can use it any way that you like. Today, I'm going to be using it as a one and done. And, you know, with the holidays upon us, could be an option. I am going to take a MAC 217. I would use my pinky. The only problem is it's kind of hard to get in there. Like, I can get in there, but it's a little bit difficult. And that's the thing with these potted type of shadows. but that's okay. So this is a gorgeous shade, gorgeous. So it's like a taupey, but there's some like purple, there's purple in there. So I'm just getting this all over the lid. I'm not taking it out too much because I want to be careful, because I am going to be adding some liner. Not getting the sparkle that I get when I use my pinky, so I'm just going to wet my brush and see what happens. Wrong way. I'm hoping you guys can see the shift that you get as you move your eye. It catches on all the reflex in there. It is so pretty. And you do have that base there, so it is not a topper. This definitely can be used as a one and done shadow. So my audio crapped out, so I'm sorry for this voiceover, but I am taking the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal eyeliner in the shade black, and I'm going to do a very thin line along my upper lash line. This pencil is incredible. It's incredible. It's incredibly creamy, very easy to use. Glides on like a cream. It really does. But it does dry down and it does stay put. I'm keeping it very close to the lash line, and this is so very black. I'm not going to pull it out right now. Just a very little bit on the outer corner. I'm just going to pull it out just a smidge on the outer corner. I don't want to do anything too dramatic, just a little bit of a kitten eye, and now I'm going to take it into my lower waterline and it will stay there, believe you me. I'm so upset that my audio didn't work for this because I think I was saying something really funny. Now I am going to take my Refer number 3 pencil brush. I'm going to go back into Mink. Look how gorgeous that looks. It's so pretty. I'm watching this video as I'm doing this voiceover because I had to do it over, obviously, because my audio didn't work. But wow. It is so pretty, not overpowering on the lower lash line at all. The Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in Wild Rose. It is a rosy toned, sparkly, creamy stick shadow that I'm adding to the inner corner, but I think that it works perfectly with this Mink shade. It brightens up the inner corner, but it picks up on the taupiness and the mauviness of this shadow, and they work so absolutely beautifully together. I'm adding it just a little bit on the lower lash line. I think I put too much of the Mink maybe over that little baby wing that I did, so I'm just going over that really quickly. Wow, looks so pretty. I think that's what I'm saying right now because that's what I'm thinking. Okay, all that is done. I used the Milk Makeup primer and the Jones Road mascara. I love this mascara. That's what I used on my eyes today. And now we are going to move on to highlighter, and then we'll finish off with lips. The highlighter that I chose today is the Dior Quad in 001 Universal. I love this highlighter. I have my Refer fan brush. It's a number 20. I'm gonna do the swirls. I'm gonna do the all over swirls for this and see what happens. Lightly tap on my cheekbone, maybe a little bit right here. Beautiful glow that this provides. A little bit on the brow bone. Why not? Why not? Impactful enough. It's subtle enough. It's got every shade that you would want in here. I love to do the swirl when I can't decide, and it still all works together. It's a little bit here and a little bit here, and I just think it looks beautiful. It's not too over the top. It gives you the most beautiful glow, and it does not emphasize texture. For lips, I picked the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in Iconic Nude. Works with most every shade because it will contour your lips, give you, it's not too cool, it's just so neutral, but it is a nude. Line those lips. I'm gonna feather in a little bit on the edges. And where is my lipstick? For lipstick, I picked the Dior Rouge Dior in 220 Beige Couture. Beige Couture. This is the most beautiful, neutral, nude shade that I think matches perfectly with the eyes we got going on today. Okay, I think that looks great, but I think I want to add a little bit of sweetness to the lips. And I'm going to add the Anastasia Beverly Hills gloss in soft pink. And this is one of my favorite glosses of all time. For setting spray, I chose the Hourglass Veil, the finest mister of all time. And it's beautiful, and I'm not going to hoard it any longer. It feels so beautiful on the skin and does a wonderful job locking in your makeup. So, all right, so this was another Shopmystashmas. I had a lot of fun putting this look together. It's beautiful. I think it's beautiful, and it's great. A great look for a holiday party. As always, thank you so very much for watching. Please do consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. There's a lot more of this to come. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in another Shopmystashmas very soon. Bye.